everyone in my Saturday finest. I just want to do a quick video for you today just to explain what bioaccumulation is. You might have heard me in some of my posts talking about that. It's basically where the body, with heavy metals and toxic chemicals, that the body gradually builds up levels of these over time. So that's what I'm going to talk about. It's just going to be brief today. So most of you know by now that heavy metals and chemical toxins are everywhere. If you step outside and breathe, if you eat, if you drink water, just those three things alone mean that we are actually exposed to heavy metals, toxic chemicals, pesticides, all kinds of things. It's been shown in research now that even organic vegetables and fruit contain heavy metals because unfortunately our soil is now contaminated. These things have actually permeated the entire planet, which is completely heartbreaking. But anyway, I've had quite a few discussions with people over the last few months, and I love chatting with people and answering their questions. I've had lots of people asking me and saying, well, I'm actually fine. I don't feel sick. I'm good. I would consider myself healthy, which is great. The interesting thing is with heavy metals and chemicals is our bodies can't deal with them. When they go in, our bodies really, really struggle to deal with them and get them out. And so generally what our body does is it actually will send it somewhere to the fatty tissue of the body, often the brain, often the reproductive organs or other organs, and store them there. And it kind of locks them there because that is the safest place for them to be in the body. Now I'm going to actually do an experiment and show you something while I talk. So the heavy metals and poisons and toxins start to go in. Mine probably started, well, it's known now that children are actually born with over 200 chemicals in their cord blood before they even begin life. There was a research, a scientific study that was done on that, and they're doing more research now, but that's quite terrifying. So I know that my chemical burden started a long time ago. I really only started to become feeling sick and feeling like my health had declined significantly probably about 15 years ago, so when I was in my mid-20s. And so what's been happening, and I've put some blue dye in here so you can see, hopefully you can see, is just over time, gradually, my heavy metal levels, my toxic chemical levels have just gradually built up and built up. And so for the first 25 years, I would have considered myself very healthy, very fit, very active. But we all have a point that we get to where our body, that's been compensating for that entire time, it just can't compensate anymore. And so what happens is it gets to the point where, well, the tipping point really, where it gets to the point where it just says, can't do this anymore, and then all of a sudden we start to experience all kinds of things going wrong with our health. Hence the experiment, well, the example. So hopefully that clears things up a little bit. So just because you're feeling fine at the moment, it actually doesn't mean at all that you don't have a chemical burden or heavy metal burden happening in your body. It just means you haven't got to there yet. So I'm trying not to, I don't want to sound like a doomsday person because, I'm actually a really positive, very happy, very much a glass is half full kind of personality. But what I've understood since starting to research, since coming across TRS, since starting to see significant changes in my own health, reading about thousands of people who've seen significant changes in their own health when they start to get rid of this stuff out of their system, it's just made me realise, and now doing more and more research, it's just made me realise that this is actually a problem that affects everyone, not just the people who are starting to feel unwell or are unwell. So anyway, if there's things that are holding you back, I know there's lots of you who are following along and reading what I post and share, which is great. If there's things holding you back and you're thinking, oh, I want to try it, but I'm just, for whatever reason, please post your questions on the Facebook page, because that's part of what it exists for. Is I really would love to help you by answering those questions, or if I don't know, I'll find out for you and get back to you. Because it's actually, even though I've shared some rather, full-on detox reactions that I've had, overall, would I do it again? 1,000 times over. I'm not even the same person as I was back in January, health-wise. So, yeah, I hope you have a great Saturday, and I'll talk to you again another time. Okay, bye.